Their mother, Angie, is doing exactly what she's always done. Wiping and dusting and polishing and scrubbing every inch of their very nice house exactly the way he likes it. His hat's arranged by style, casual to dressy. His boots by material. His leather to the left, gaiters to the right. His neckties arranged by color. The slacks by brand and the shirts by fabric. He has made it very clear the importance of honoring everything in its rightful place. A man in his place. A woman in hers. Not today, Angie. Not today.
When I heard the title of this epic story, Is God Is, so many thoughts came to mind. I never want to define what something is because it's really up to everyone else's interpretation when you actually lean into this story and this epic journey, this epic road trip, this story about two sisters, this story about a mother and her daughters, this story about a father and his daughters, a story about a father and his children, a story about two sisters on a journey. There are so many layers to the title that it would be a disservice for me to even try to define it.
I think that the title, to me, always felt like a question and an answer, right? It's, is God, God is. Or at least that's how I always thought about it. And I don't think that it necessarily meant an implication of like God in a literal sense or like in a religious sense. It just felt like when I read it, these characters were on this journey to understanding whether or not that there was a larger meaning in themselves and to life. And that's what the seeking of God feels like, right? The question of whether or not God, this larger thing, this larger meaning for why people are the way they are and why they come from what they come from is the way it is. And I think that throughout the journey of the story, that question is answered.
When I spoke to Aleshea, we actually talked about my roots. I actually come from the Southwest, and I have a Southern Gothic background. And I discussed with her that's what I saw in the film, in the script, that I saw all sorts of things that meant something to me in a very different way. Aleshea Harris is one of the new amazing auteurs of this century. And I love that I'm in her film, but more importantly, I love that she exists at all. This is a big film. It's an epic film, and it certainly has a unique genre that it's touching and growing in. It'll remind people of different films that they've seen, but it is unique unto itself, and so I'm really proud to be in it.
Is God Is a kick-ass revenge thriller film with an amazing cast. When I first encountered Is God Is, it was completely mysterious to me. I've never been presented with a project that had that kind of title. So it definitely pulled me in. Then when I found out that the playwright was a young African-American sister who, this was an off-Broadway production that caught the eyes of Hollywood, it definitely pulled me in.
Is God Is a Southern Gothic Western that deals with rage within your family, the bond of sisterhood, the fun with family, the adventure with family, retribution, beauty, the beauty within family, sisterhood, an unbreakable bond of sisterhood. And honestly, it's bold, it's audacious, it's chilling. Ooh, it is genre defying. Like I think it's so hard to just say a few words about the film because it literally is one of the most original films I've ever been a part of.
It is a sort of revenge story. These two young black women who are twin sisters are going across country to avenge the almost murder, the maiming and scarring of their mother and themselves. And shenanigans ensue.
So Is God is about a pair of twin sisters who are orphans. They don't know the story of their past. They have these mysterious burn scars, and they're not sure of the origins of those scars. One day they get a letter from their mother, and she reveals to them what their history is and sends them on a mission. So it's about these two young women who are the heroes at the center of a story where they're really trying to come into being by way of this mission.
I would describe her as someone who is navigating the world in a way, navigating the world for two. Because of Anaya's injuries that seem to be more apparent to another human versus my injuries that are on my arm, because Anaya's injuries are on her face, her burns are on her face. I represent the both of us in our worlds, and I've absorbed the world a little differently than Anaya has. Let's just say I take on a lot of both of our hearts, and it's a lot on Racine, what she's carrying for the two of them. You know, they are absolutely resilient, two young, resilient women in a world that, you know, kind of was the unfortunate circumstance of their childhood fires, but they're not aware of of what exactly happened. So when we meet them, we see these two beautiful girls who have made a way for themselves in the world. And that means that they build their own happiness. They've built their own joy. They have, you know, it's not to say they're, again, resilient survivors of these burns, but they have been in the world and navigating the world on their own for so long. And when we do meet them, their world has changed. And they go on this journey that you will
I think
see.
I just really get Kara. Like, as a person, I get her. I love her. I think that there's something to when you really, really have a true friendship and kin with someone, you naturally mirror each other's movements and speech patterns. However, Aleshea was really, really smart in making sure that we had extra rehearsal time. So we came in 2 weeks before we even started filming, and we were in rehearsal studios practicing with each other, working in tandem, moving in tandem. We would do exercises where we were looking in the mirror and we would look at each other and try to say what the other person was thinking, or do like a movement that the other person was gonna do next. So Aleshea made sure that we were bonded in that way, but it happened naturally, very, very naturally.
This is a very powerful story, and it's intense at times. It's also beautiful and new, and it feels like a fable or folktale. She uses those words a lot, but it also feels very relatable because the pain and suffering and some of the things that the heroes want is relatable. And yet, don't look at my character for any kind of reality. Divine is not going to provide it. She really is something out of more of folklore and very mystical place.
Stepping into playing God for Is God Is for me was deep, to be very honest with you. This is going to be a way that my fans have never seen me before. And it was really one of the reasons that once I spoke with Aleshea, the director, that I was totally in for playing the role. Ruby, my character, is a domestic violence survivor, and it goes into a very dark place. And so it just made it even more intriguing for me, especially when Aleshea explained to me that I would send my girls on a revenge mission.
I think life for Angie, on the outside looking in, the veneer of it seems beautiful. You know, white picket fence. All things are working harmoniously, but in reality, it is toxic. It's violent, and change is absolutely necessary in order for Angie to thrive and survive and be free. Yeah.
I mean, the title is intriguing. I think it sort of points to the divine feminine and the creative power of women, that women give birth, that they usher creation into existence. Right? And that's not, I mean, that's the truth of the matter. And that I think oftentimes in our patriarchal society, God is often envisioned as like male. We say, biblically speaking, he, etc. And I think Aleshea is taking the term, flipping it, and being like, you know what? Why can't God be female? Why can't God be feminine?
Racine, one of the characters in the movie, when she receives a letter from her mother and is called to her mother's side, she, because she's not had any kind of family, any kind of anchoring, she thinks of her mother as the beginning of herself. So she calls her God. Her sister, of course, says she's gonna get struck down. She's like, not with it. But to Racine, she looms so large. And is such an important force, and it has everything to do with why Racine wants to go on this mission, the way that she regards her mother. And it's also a question, I think, more for Anaya. It's like, who is this person? She has a lot of doubts about what they're doing and why they're doing it.
The differences between Anaya and Racine is that Racine is someone who is bold, right? She's the twin that's bold. She's the twin that's not afraid to say what she wants to say, and she's kind of the mouthpiece for Anaya, who's a lot more withdrawn and sensitive and thoughtful. I think that Anaya is led by her emotions, whereas Racine is led by her instincts. And I think that as the story goes on, you kind of see Anaya become her own protector.
I love that woman so much. We had each other to lean on, as well as a beautiful production, a beautiful crew. But we were together, and we were together on camera. And, you know, a lot of the times we did lean on each other. And it was about talking through the moments in between and the history that we've built together as Racine and Anaya, and just continuing to expand on that history and dissect that history and understand it. I am forever changed by working with Mallori and working on this production. She's my sister for life.
I play divine. I hesitate to say it's a role that I was born to play, but I think it kind of was. My father was a preacher. He was a boy preacher, a prodigy. My mother grew up in the church. I spent all my time in the Church of God in Christ, which is a very particular denomination, and then all the way up into Lutheran. I've spent a lot of times in front of the altar and behind the altar. And pastors are just humans, and divine is very human, but she is divine. And there's a part of her that is stuck. She was the former girlfriend of the man. And obviously it didn't work out, but she's still holding out hope. So though it didn't work out, she's still holding out hope. And that's kind of sad because I think it's turned her and made her like the Tin Man. She can't move. She's got a son, and she's got a dedicated church of followers, And she's also got powers. Powers ungodly, for good and bad. And she has been unleashed in this film like Dickens might do, a famous character in his book. Divine is meant to be a pass-through character, somebody that you come to learn something, somebody that it can expose and reveal more. But she's also a good time. So I loved playing her.
I had to. Something I need to ask y'all to do, but I don't know if y'all up to it.
We up to it. We can do anything. We strong. Ain't we strong, Naya?
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep this real simple for you. Make your daddy dead. 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 And everything around you, you can destroy it too. I think he took up with some bitch. Kill his spirit, then the body. Like he did me. Make him dead. Real dead. I had to embrace Ruby's pain. I had to embrace Ruby as a woman, as a domestic survivor, as a mother, and the Black experience, because domestic violence is taboo in our culture to discuss. We always like to believe and say, I got it, everything's good. So I embraced her story to then send my twins on a mission.
I think when I was speaking to the incredible director that is Aleshea Harris, she and I talked through what was most important about shining light on with Angie. And I think, she's a woman who made sacrifices for everyone. You know, she's given so much of herself as a mother, as a wife, and she honestly has not lived life in a way that she would have chose. I think if she could choose differently, she would have. And that's a hard thing to say, like, as a mother and as a wife. But I think that she is trying to figure out how to be happy and how to experience happiness and really understand what that means and not fake know what it means, but having experiences that really bring her joy and happiness. And I think that she is fighting for her right to do that.
But I more look at it as sort of an introspection of the nature of relationships between Black men and Black women, and the historic systemic disenfranchising of the Black family, and sort of the creation of the strong Black woman, and what that means in a patriarchal society. Karen Mallori, wonderful. Karen Mallori are outstanding. I didn't know Mallory's work before, but we had a wonderful time because, like, most of my dialogue is with her. She's beautiful and soulful, and she captures this sort of sweet frailty in such a beautiful way, and then a ferocity that emerges when she says enough is enough. Carrie Young, man, seen the sister win 2 Tonys, and deservedly so in each one of those performances. She's an absolute beast, and the two of them together, it's like sweet and sour. It's yin and yang. Like, they play off of each other in such a magical way. Like, I cannot wait for our audience to get a chance to be introduced to the both of them.
So I just, I took a look at that play and I knew that I was writing something for the screen, and the rules are not wholly different, but they're different rules, right? There are things you can do on the stage that you can't or maybe shouldn't do in a film. So I was really conscious of like how much I could let the image do the work when it came to the film, how the level of proximity and intimacy we could have with the characters because of the nature of working with a camera was different to the play. So I didn't need some of the aspects of the play. The play is more talky, which works in the theater and which you need in the theater, right, to fill that space differently. So I just, took a good look at the play, thought about what would just deepen, maximize the story, what the strongest version of it could be for the screen, and wrote in that direction.
Her scars, I found when I was working on her and trying to find her, felt like the crux of her being, right? They are this thing that she cannot detach herself from, that she feels like she needs to hide, but it's also kind of a mask in a way. I think it's a shield. I think that they shield themselves with their scars. And I also think that it really informed what she wanted as a character so much. I think that what she wanted ultimately was just to be normal. We kept talking about what they wanted, and we kept finding that it came from, they just wanted love, they just wanted acceptance, and they wanted to be normal. I think that to Racine, Ruby was a mythic figure, right? I mean, we do see her introduced as a character as this very mythic, mystical being in this like Southern Gothic environment, which is so cool. But I always felt like, even reading the play, that Anaya saw Ruby as a mother. I think that Anaya just wanted a mom, and I think that she also just wanted a dad. These are two orphans that like never knew their parents, and I think that in the same way that Racine revered her, Anaya really just needed her.
I've been following Aleshea Harris for quite some time, so when Is God Is appeared in my inbox to audition, I was honored, like beyond honored, and it was like one of the best screenplays I've ever read in my life. Every single moment, and if you ever read the play Is God Is, the play itself, even the font in which Aleshea writes in, and the way that the words are sort of flipped upside down, and every punctuation in the play, everything is meticulously crafted. This is like some serious stuff, People call themselves an artist. Aleshea Harris is all of the above. So for her to adapt it into a screenplay and then also to be directing her story, her creation, I sat in awe watching her work. I will never forget the experience of watching her craft her story aesthetically and obviously with visuals, but also the way that she writes. It's in a certain rhythm, in certain spells, and I revere her. I honor her. I'm grateful to even be in her orbit. I'm grateful to have been a part of this experience. So working with this cast. So what we're talking about is like not just, anyone. These are giants. These are giants to us, Black women. Vivica A. Fox and Erika Alexander are like we grew up watching these women. So to even be acting with them was like beyond. And Sterling, I've been watching Sterling on the stage as a theater actor for so long too. And I will never forget, I saw Sterling K. Brown in Susan Laurie Parks' A Father Comes Home from the War. I saw him do that. I want to say that was at the Public Theater. And I was just like, I'm using the word blown away, but I don't have any other phrasing. I was just blown away by his presence, his performance, his voice, his command of the stage, his specificity. Erika Alexander gave us, Maxine Shaw, attorney at law. She is literally like one of the reasons why there are so many black women lawyers. I mean, it's like these women have given, these people, these actors, these artists have given us so much.
They're phenomenal actors. And they're also very unique human beings. I saw Kara on Broadway with Leslie Odom. I saw her do Pearly Victorious on Broadway. She was doing the Ruby Dee role, and Leslie Odom was doing the Ossie Davis role. I tell you, I never seen anything like her in my life. Never. I literally kept looking at her like, what is she doing? I'm not quite sure, but I'm here for it. And it was so brave, and it was so connected to something that I had not seen. And she had given herself permission long ago to be unique. And so when I heard that she was cast as one of the twins, the leads, I was like, oh no, this film is gonna be off the chain. And they made quick work of becoming not only family and friends, but unique lead characters in something that has never been seen before. Aleshea Harris is a genius. Full stop. That's real. I know it when I see it. I've been in this business for quite some time, over 4 decades. I've met geniuses, real geniuses. And I knew that she was that when I read her before I met her. And I was excited to meet her. For one thing, she had the good sense to choose me. I'm a rabbit foot. That already makes her a genius. Ha! Yeah. High glory. And I'll just say that she's unique in this world because of the way she thinks, because of the aggressive way that she writes. She has a vision, and she sees it clearly, but she also has room to grow. And I think that's the piece that is usually missing, that people sometimes believe, too much in their own powers. She believes in them, but she also knows that this is a big world and this is a big universe, and she's exploring it with you. And she wants you to come along and bring all your experience to bear. So I love Aleshea Harris, and I'm sure this is the first time that we work together and not the last time. And you're welcome, world. Aleshea Harris has come to save cinema in her own way.
When I read the moment in the script where Ruby sends the twins on their revenge mission, I thought, how cool. This is so awesome that the twins reconnect with their mother, someone that was, they thought was dead. And the fact that then she sends them on this mission and then also reveals the history of why she wants them to do this to me. I thought it was really cool. And my dialogue was really, it sets the whole tone of the film. I want you to make your daddy dead, real dead. I give my kudos to my director, Aleshea, that she really helped me to embrace the pain that Ruby was experiencing. And Aleshea was very specific about the way I delivered the lines, that I was tired, that there's pain and there was also love. So it was a dynamic that at times was difficult. She'd be like, don't forget you're tired. Slow down. It's okay to feel the pain. It's okay to let your daughters know how much you loved them, why you stayed away from them. Because the daughters thought Ruby was dead. And so, like I said, Aleshea really kept me in touch. Like, she would literally in the middle of filming go, cut, and she's like, you're forgetting your pain. And so I just take my hat off to my director, Aleshea. I mean, she had such a connection with this because it was a stage play before we turned it into a movie. So she's been connected to these characters. I mean, she created them. So I give hats off to my director.
I loved working with Kara and Mallori, who play Racine and Anaya. I think they are just exceptional talents. And I think in this film, seeing them and meeting them for the first time, like, we had a lot of fun. As crazy as our scene is together, I really actually enjoyed sparring with them, and I'll leave it at that. Aleshea Harris is one of my favorite screenwriters. You know, I know she came in through playwriting, and this is from her play Is God Is, adapted from her play. I will tell you, it was the best script I had read all year. When I read this script, I was like, who is this Aleshea lady who wants me to be in this film? It is a yes. I mean, I was in the movie immediately. Like, I was laughing. If you can make me laugh in a script, you got me. I was crying. I was rooting for so many people. And I just thought her voice needs to be amplified. I need to help her in whatever way that I can. And I'm so happy that she has decided to take on a film like this and to, you know, just bring her heart and her soul into it. And for this to be your first film, Aleshea, for this to be Aleshea's first film out the gate, next level, just exceptional. I could not be more proud to be a part of your first film, Aleshea.
What was it like working with Aleshea Harris? It could not have gone better. I think what made it so wonderful is that she had such a clear vision of the story that she wanted to tell because she wrote it. She understood it. She understood cinematically what she wanted to capture. And when you have that kind of clarity from your director, it makes it easy for you to step into the sandbox and play, right? I think this is the first of many, God willing, and the creek don't rise. Like, we'll give this sister many, many opportunities to get behind the camera and tell some stories. I hope they're thoroughly entertained. I hope that there is a continued thirst for original stories, right? With Black folks front and center in the telling of those stories. I hope they tell a friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's got cult classic feelings to it, right? But I hope it has cult classic feelings that people discover on May 15th, and then more people discover it later on too, yeah.
Working with this cast, working with this director was incredible. I am so honored. I feel really, really honored to be in this movie. When I was watching it by myself, I was like super moved by the fact that I was even in it, and the fact that I was in it with these huge legends that I look up to, you know? I think Aleshea is brilliant. I think that I am so inspired by her bravery to helm this film herself. She wrote it, she directed it, she made sure that it was exactly the story that she wanted to tell. And she made sure that everybody in the room who was working with her knew that too. And so I think that Aleshea is an inspiration to every Black woman out there who wants to create something, that when you want to create something, you do it yourself. You do it yourself and you make sure that it's done right. And I'm proud to be in it with the people that I am in it with. It was made for theaters, right? This story was written as a play first, and it was written in the fashion of a Greek Odyssey. I mean, I keep saying this, but that's what struck me the most about this story. That's what made it so brilliant and unique to me, is that this was made to be shared with other people. I think that not going to see it in a theater, not going to see it with other people would be a shame to you as an audience member, because it's meant to be shared. It's meant to be communed with, you know. This story is really truly fashioned in the spirit of theater.
Theater is that this is a film, again, meticulously crafted by the one, the only Aleshea Harris. That's created by, written by, adapted into a screenplay, and also directed, which means that you're getting the story that is literally of the vision of the creator. How special is that? That doesn't happen all the time. It only happens to a certain group of people. And guess what? It's happening now, and you get to actually experience that. Aesthetically, story, colors, all of the above. I mean, you could almost feel the heat coming from this film when you watch it. It is to be seen on the biggest screen, truly. And you must go and see it in the theaters. Do yourself a favor. Don't do yourself a disservice. Why do people need to see Is God Is in the theater? Why people need to see Is God Is in the theater is that this is a film, again, meticulously crafted by the one, the only Aleshea Harris. That's created by, written by, adapted into a screenplay, and also directed, which means that you're getting the story that is literally of the vision of the creator. How special is that? That doesn't happen all the time. It only happens to a certain group of people. And guess what? It's happening now, and you get to actually experience that. Aesthetically, story, colors, all of the above. I mean, you could almost feel the heat coming from this film when you watch it. It is to be seen on the biggest screen, truly. And you must go and see it in the theaters. Do yourself a favor. Don't do yourself a disservice. Twin, we got a letter from Mama.
I thought she was dead. What she went with us now? Where she been at?
She's on her deathbed. If we don't go now, this might be our last chance to see God.
God.
She made us, didn't she?
Girls, I'm gonna make this real simple. Make your daddy dead. Real dead.
This seemed a little crazy.
Not as crazy as setting your wife on fire in front of your kids, then abandoning them.
We ain't killers.
How we gonna live with ourselves if we do this?
This Destiny type shit.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
You ready?
Yeah.
The lady he took up with after he burnt us up. Find her and you'll find him. A lady by the name of Divine. You're his girl.
Oh, hell no.
You in trouble? Chuck Hall's got your back.
Just tell us where he at.
For fear that it would wag, he took my time. We ain't gonna kill him.
We clapping.
Tell us where to find him. You're alive?
We drumming.
So y'all think y'all just gonna kill him?
Imagine what our lives would look like if he hadn't done it.
Fire burnt his house down.
It was born for burning.
I don't wanna hear no yeah, 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 yeah.
Ain't nobody innocent.
La, 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 la. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want nothing but blood.
Why don't you sit with me? Seems like we got a lot to talk about.